Hey guys, welcome back to another Islandbzz video. Now, enough people are clearly upset with the state of NHT, and I stumbled across this video online that I wanted to share with you guys.
NHT, look on the paper. People were born in the 60s and the 50s get them a house. That means that the people them join with them mother, and they say them are 65. 65 year old can pay for the house, eh? 65 year old can pay for the house and 75 year old people can pay for the house. My mother born 1950 and she was 73 when she died. And 3 years ago, that means that the people them what them join with are 70 and 50 odd year old. So then the people that can pay for the house and the people them can pay for it. Stop joining the people that with them tell them about parents because the parents don't pay for it. Look here, I want to get old, see that? Get rid of it. To me get old, me get old, come like you have to get old. You rat to get the house at NHT. See that? See that? They get all. Yes, NHT. NHT. But all no NHT. NHT, we need it all. We need all. Can come like what for all to get all.
No, that video was really funny, and I don't want to make light of the situation, but you can see that the gentleman there is clearly upset, and it's understandable. Imagine applying for NHT scheme house year after year back to back and you are not successful. Now, I did a video to say if NHT is a scam, and trust me, I got a lot of remarks of people saying that it is a scam, and I just wanted to share this video so that you guys can take a look. Is NHT a scam for young people? The loan limit for a single applicant was recently increased from 7.5 million Jamaican dollars to 9 million. For two co-applicants, the combined maximum loan limit was increased from 15 million to 17 million, and for three co-applicants, it moved from 21 million to 23 million Jamaican dollars. With all of this increase taking place, we still have to ask the question, how much help is NHT giving and is it enough? Now, NHT does 100% financing of up to 15 million for their scheme house developments and their NHT service lots, but the demands for these are so high and the supply isn't enough to match the high demand. This means many people often have to look to the open market in order to secure a house. Now, let's say this person found a house on the open market that is valued at 20 million Jamaican dollars. Even though NHT offers up to 9 million, that doesn't actually guarantee that you'll get the full amount. What you actually qualify for depends on multiple different factors. But let's assume that this person qualifies for the full amount. This means that the NHT loan only covers 45% of the $20 million, which then means that they'll have to go to another financial institution to cover the remaining 55%. This raises the question, what is the real benefit of going through NHT if in the end you're forced to take out a separate loan, oftentimes with higher interest rates, just to cover the majority of the cost? But what if that was not the case? What would actually happen if the National Housing Trust was to cover everything? To figure this one out, I took a look at the National Housing Trust financial statements between April 2023 to March 2024. And it stated that the total income for the institution was 41.5 billion Jamaican dollars. And after all of their expenses, they were left back with $21.8 billion in profit. Now, during that same time period, they gave out about 4,384 loans, totaling 21 billion Jamaican dollars. When we divide the total loan amount by the number of recipients, this means on average, each person who got a loan received about $5 million from the NHT. Now, if each person were to receive $20 million instead of $5 million, then in total that would be $87.6 billion, which is more than 2 times the NHT total income. So the institution would have to be earning well over $88 billion after expenses in order to give each person a $20 million loan. So now that we've established that the NHT just can't pay the full price, should the contributions be optional? That's what we'll discuss in the next video. Now, sharing some of the comments from this video. Now, this user said, SMH hit my head, young people with more talk than logic. We no longer think we can buy land and build house, start with the full foundation, then add rooms. We all want 20 and 30 mil house, even if we just start working for 2 years, fresh out of school. Next user said, why NHT mandatory, but it's not mandatory for everyone paying to get a house. Now I did do a video on this as well to say if NHT should be optional. I'm just gonna share that video with you guys here as well. Should NHT contributions be optional? 2% of your salary is usually deducted for NHT contributions each month, and it adds up over time. If you pay $3,000 into NHT every month, that's about $36,000 every year, and after 10 years, that would be $360,000. Now, what if you were able to do something else with that money? For example, put it in a savings or an investments account, or even use it to start a business. What would the returns look like? So if it went into a savings account at around 2%, you'd have $438,840 in total. If it went into an investment account at around, let's say, 5%, you would have $645,941 in total. And for an even riskier investment at 10%, you would have $933,746 in total. But you also have to take into consideration that with these types of investments, there's a chance of losing all of your money. So on the surface, making NHT contributions optional might sound like a good idea. People would finally have the freedom to invest that money, save it, or use it in ways that aligns with their personal goals. And for some, that could really work out in their favor. But we also have to be real. Not everyone would use that opportunity wisely. Some people would simply take that money and spend it without thinking long term, which means they'll lose out both on the chance to grow their money and the chance to benefit from NHT later on. Now, a lot of people's pain point is that they contribute for their entire life, but they still end up not qualifying for a loan. And that's just the honest truth. Not everyone will be able to benefit. And guys, it's also important to remember that the NHT operates by pooling together contributions from thousands of working Jamaicans. That's how they're able to give out loans. If contributions were optional, fewer people would be paying in, and that would lead to less money being available for loans. So loan amounts could drop significantly and even fewer would benefit. So even if you personally never qualify for a loan, or you just decide that you don't want to use NHT, you can still get back your money after 8 years by applying for an NHT refund. So in a way, look at your NHT contributions as a mandatory savings account. Now guys, based on the video, if you watch it to the end, you can see that my opinion is that NHT should not be optional, based on the fact that they have to pool together our funds so that they can assist persons who will be able to get that benefit. Moving on to the next comment, someone else said, everybody pay NHT, some people dead and never get a house or a return. Now I did mention this in the first video that I did to say if NHT was a scam. You can actually apply for a refund to get the returns for the contributions that you did over the years. So yeah, you guys can do that as well if you're not benefiting. Now the last comment, someone said a lot of people do not know that if you go to them for a home loan, they'll send you to about 3 financial institutions to see if you qualify for a mortgage there. If yes, they'll advise you to do that at the institution interest rates and policies. If no, they will send you back to get a letter as to why not. Only then they'll consider if you qualify. Next up, TAJ launched a new electronic motor vehicle registration certificate system on July 21st, 2025. This eliminates physical certificates and stickers in favor of digital documents accessible online. So this change is only for private vehicle owners. They can get this renewal done completely online without having to physically visit the TAJ offices. Now, third and last, NHT expands cash refunds to private sector workers and self-employed individuals. Effective July 1st, 2025, the National Housing Trust expanded cash refund eligibility to all contributors, including private sector workers and self-employed individuals, whereas this previously only applied to public sector workers where they could receive that cash refund. So what this means is that previously, if you had a NHT mortgage and you wanted to apply for a NHT refund, if you were working in the private sector or if you were a self-employed individual, then that refund would have been applied to your mortgage account. But now they're giving those persons the opportunity to get that refund in cash, so it can be sent directly to your bank as a bank deposit, or you can use a remittance agency. And this is for persons who are contributing locally, or if you're overseas and you're contributing. Now, the applications can only be submitted online via the NHT website or using their mobile app. And the refunds that are now available is for 2017 and for earlier contributions.